All right, everyone. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, the software releases, website by plebes. We got it all. Drop us a like and subscribe. We're going to the numbers. Here we go.
Booty dashboard.
Okay, we are currently sitting at a block height of 664,880. Current Bitcoin price, 36,845. I don't have the damn chicken. All right. Chain rewrite days, 587. The total lightning capacity, 1,058.73 BTC. And the Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.40%.
There's still significant headroom, Phil. There's so much headroom left. Guys, for anyone who's new to the channel, you're confused what I just broke down in the chicken. We have Satoshi, the Bitcoin chicken. He clucks every time the price of Bitcoin reaches an all-time high. I am substituting for him. He's been traveling. I didn't bring him with me, but don't worry, guys. I ordered a special new Satoshi. He looks like Elvis. You guys are going to love him. Phil, it's time for
the Daily Fail. All right, so today's daily fail is a random person I never noticed before today. All right, Atif Mian had this interesting thing to say about Bitcoin. You know, is Bitcoin worth it? Bitcoin is socially wasteful and practically useless. You can see he's been doing his research. It is consuming electricity equivalent to the entire power consumption of Pakistan, country of 200 million plus. Are they known for the amount of power that they use or something? Or
I think he's just comparing it. Yeah.
I know. And what use does it offer? Practically none. Its value only represents speculative craze. Okay, so he does finance and macro with data. And it's interesting, he's the author of The House of Debt. So apparently he seems to understand some form of economics, which is most likely Keynesian economics. And I love when they bring in the power consumption argument, right? Has anybody ever really taken the time to figure out how much power the current banking system consumes for the entire world? Or even, you know what, let's be nice. Let's just say for the country of the US. Have we ever figured out how much power it consumes all day long? All those buildings, all that electricity, all those people, the plumbing, everything. Has anybody really? I'm pretty sure they haven't. But yet so many of these people, they're so certain. They're certain that Bitcoin uses so much energy. They're all a bunch of hypocrites, okay? And they're just being idiots. And these people, you know what? They may be book smart, but they're absolute fools when it comes to taking that thought and applying some wisdom to it.
Absolutely.
Like, let's zoom out and look at it for real, you know?
And that power consumption thing, man, it's been debunked 100 times, right?
100 times, man.
Look, so
people way smarter than me.
It's like Bitcoin wastes so much energy. No, it doesn't. Bitcoin uses isolated energy that was going to go to waste anyways, which is why Bitcoin miners tend to migrate to places with extreme cheap electricity. And if you know supply and demand, when something's cheap, that's because there's way too much supply, right? So Bitcoin actually uses excess energy, right? So like those natural gas where they kind of have to burn out the energy because they're mining too much. Bitcoin uses that, right? Bitcoin also uses hydroelectric energy, right? And Iceland is a good example. And also dams, right? Where they have excessive electricity production. And what they do is when they have excessive electricity production, it actually helps the owner of the plant mine some Bitcoin in return, right? So it's totally debunked, right? And another thing I wanted to say is that Bitcoin actually figured out, is the first time in human history that we figured out how to monetize excess energy. So we figured out how to monetize energy now. Before, there was no way to do that, right? Before, you're just using energy to consume for your business. But now there's a way to actually monetize the energy that you create. So in a way, right, it actually makes the planet greener, right? Because you're using that energy. It's not going to waste. Before it was going to waste, right? Which is why Bitcoin only, and it makes perfect sense, right? Your miner isn't going to use electricity in a city that has very expensive electricity. They're going to migrate to isolated energy pockets all around the world, that energy being made was going to go to waste regardless, right? So this has been debunked 100 times, but people love it. It's like, it's like the talking point. It's like Bitcoin
It's the same
is
thing
used
over and over again from these guys.
Bitcoin is used for drugs. It's the same talking point, right? It's such
always
BS. It's such BS. Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, so our meme was brought to us by interesting. I wouldn't consider him a pleb, but it's brought to us by Pomp. Let's check it out. When I saw this, I thought it was really funny. So I wanted
not a pleb at all.
Not a pleb at all. That is correct. Okay, so let's play. I don't know if it has sound or not. One more time. Okay, and the caption is "Nobody show Peter Schiff this one." Man, I thought it was clever. It was good. It was very easy for people to understand. I'm gonna give it a solid score, 8.5 for me. What about you, Phil?
I'm gonna go with an 8. I'm gonna go with an 8.
Awesome. Cool.
It was good. It was funny, right? Got football, which is obviously attractive to a lot of people. Pretty easy to understand. What's going on there. So.
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. It's a funny short one with a cute song to it.
It's definitely like an influencer meme, right? It's a meme that everyone will understand. Absolutely. Yeah. Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody, some pretty big news today. It was making quite a splash on Twitter. Strike is bringing the Lightning Network to more than 200 countries. This is a huge deal. This changes everything. I think Marty Bent's take was really good. Jack Mallers, which is the CEO and the founder of Strike, is out here casually changing the game of international money transfer on a pleasant Wednesday afternoon, all made possible by Bitcoin plus the Lightning Network. The post goes into more specific detail. Essentially, check this out, Phil. This is awesome. Enter the Bitcoin network, however, came with its own flaws. Variable cost to achieve transaction finality. Variable time to achieve transaction finality must use Bitcoin, the asset on the Bitcoin network, right? So obviously, Lightning solves some of those issues, but this is where this is the sentence that I found the most interesting, Phil. However, now with Strike, users can use the Bitcoin network with only their bank account or debit card. They don't need Bitcoin, the asset, to benefit from the Bitcoin network. And what that allows them to do is, in this specific example, right? But I'm sure there's no limit to this. It allowed Jack to, in the demo, basically to send $10 from the USA to Europe, receive it as euros. It was easy, it was instant, and it was free. And I love the last phrase, disruption is here. He's absolutely right. This changes everything. This hurts banks. Imagine, Phil, one of the most expensive things is to transmit money overseas. You get destroyed with fees. I think you were describing me a problem about Canada and the US and, transferring cross-border. So it's like, dude, this is disruption. This is crazy. This is going to change everything. The only thing I'm kind of curious about is I don't think the regulators that work for banks are going to be very happy that their donors are losing their profit margin, right? So just a thought, Phil, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, you got to love Jack Mallers. You got to love the amount of innovation that comes out of that guy. And I'm sure that, I remember him mentioning a tweet about some teacher or something that thought he was going to amount to nothing. So
my teachers thought I was going to amount to nothing too. So F them, because Bitcoin's at 36K, baby. What are you saying, Phil? I'm sorry.
Not to 37. No, it's all good. But look, definitely, the bank's got to hate this guy right now. That anybody doing money transfer business does not like this person right now, and they are going to quickly have to scramble and figure out how they can somehow integrate what it is that he is doing into their business model, or they're going to be history. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Amen. They deserve it. They deserve it for their greed and just messing up everybody's life. And so to kind of end the segment, Phil, I got some 2 bullish statistics. Guys, you heard this here first on Simply Bitcoin. We told you this before Pomp told anybody, but check this out. Look how much money the Fed has added in 2020 alone. We reported this to you first the day of, right? So if you don't own Bitcoin at this point, look at that. Look at that. You're just, man, no comment. It explains itself. And to kind of end the news cycle, check this out. Document Bitcoin. Definitely go follow him. Awesome. Progress of Bitcoin flipping the US dollar money supply, M1 money supply. We were at 9%, baby. Bitcoin's going to eat up this just like it's going to eat up the market cap of gold. Phil, what are your thoughts on all that?
I just love it. I mean, look, obviously I love that second chart. That is so awesome. Yeah, definitely follow Documenting Bitcoin. I mean, this dude, I don't know how long he's been on Twitter, but all of a sudden everyone's following him. He's totally documenting everything about Bitcoin and doing it in a really cool way. But look, at the end of the day, it's just absolutely brutal. I don't understand how somebody can stand up in front of anybody with any amount of, dignity and say that the deficit is the myth, or that say that inflation doesn't exist. I don't understand how you would say that. Like, I don't, it doesn't make any sense to me. So, this is why we have Bitcoin. Like, I kid you not, when I was like 16, 17 and I was reading these whacked out things, about money printing, like that the money isn't backed by anything anymore. And everyone said, you're crazy. Like, that's crazy. And you know what? I didn't think it was crazy. I just realized that I really had no way out. Bitcoin is our way out.
Amen. Amen. Especially with everything that's going on. Bitcoin is your only ticket to opt out of the madness. Amen, Phil. Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. Okay, we've got Specter version 1.0.0 that was released, and we've got a link to that in the show notes down below.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, smash that like button. If you love the show, subscribe. And of course, we'll see you on the next one for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.